Pickleball versus tennis. We got Christian Alshin, who played at the University of Chicago in 2021. He played tennis.
Yeah.
He said, I'm going to have to read a lot because I don't want to get it out of sequence.
Okay.
He said, pickleball has made me a much better athlete than tennis ever did. Faster reaction time and speed are needed since the ball is only coming from 10 feet away. Point for point, pickleball requires more skill than tennis. Period. James Blake, immediately. Ha ha.
Who, for the record, is invested in pickleball.
Correct. He has a team, major league pickleball team. Yes. Ha ha. That might be because you are playing a pretty low level of tennis. Maybe if you were familiar with the athleticism it takes to excel at the sport, you would realize how ridiculous your statement sounds.
All right, in my book. Continue.
Before I go on, what are your thoughts on this statement so far?
I think that, and this is probably a special segment we should do for the ATP podcast at some point in time. I think tennis is the 7th most difficult sport in the world of all athletics.
Yes, it was an ESPN poll back in 2018 or something along those lines.
I think it was like 2016. But,
yes.
But, I mean, and this is behind combat sports, some individual sports, some hyper coordination sports like ice hockey, stuff like that. Tennis comes in right behind a lot of those sports because it's an individual sport that's technical, cerebral, and the threshold that the separation between the top 10 in the world and the top 100 in the world are such minute, small things that create such large gaps. Now let's talk about pickleball's threshold and the pinnacle of pickleball and how difficult it is to reach that. What has Jack Sock done as of late? How quickly did he close the gap between a guy who's never held a paddle and then go blow for blow with the world #1 undisputed greatest player in pickleball history? And ask yourself this. If we turn those tables and we take Ben Johns and give him a tennis racket and we say, you got 2 years, I'll see you at Wimbledon. Is he going to make it there? No. He's not going to be top 500 in the world. Maybe with great resources and unlimited money, he could probably make it to 350, 400 in the world. But he'll never reach the #1 player in the planet and go blow for blow with Djokovic, Sinner, Alcaraz, Medvedev, right? So, no, they're not comparable.
Yes, I'll keep reading.
Okay. Continue.
Okay. So, I don't know if you knew this, but Christian Alshin actually was the 7th recruit in the United States when he was recruited to Chicago University. So that was an interesting statement that James Blake made.
Look, this kid is an accomplished athlete. He played D1 tennis at one point.
Yes.
Wasn't successful at it, but he played D1 tennis. He's a beast for sure. He's also a little missing a few screws also, which a lot of great athletes are. But he's clearly missing some screws.
Yeah, you have to be delusional at times, But Blake responded to that and said, he has the same number of Division I college wins as my daughter does, who's 11. Dan Pagula, right after he made that comment, she put skulls, pretty much shutting him up. Renee Stubbs followed it up with crying emojis.
Laughing at him. Okay.
Yes, pretty much. So it was interesting. And now comes Kyrgios. He's all...
Who's also invested in pickleball, by the way.
That is correct. He said, let's hide under the bed after that statement. Ha ha ha. Bro, get me the best pickleball player and compare his talent to Roger Federer. Then we'll talk.
Yep.
What are your thoughts on that statement?
Yeah, I mean, these are guys who like pickleball as a game who are offended at your statement. And they support pickleball. They have money invested in pickleball. They want pickleball to do well. If they're even disagreeing with you, imagine the people who don't like pickleball.
Exactly. So now Alshin responded. And he said, Blake, Kyrgios, Roddick, I'll invite you to a trio of pickleball duels with $100,000 on the line per match. I'll give you guys 2-1 favorite odds. And let's play. Roddick came back and said what you said earlier. I'm not even going to waste my time picking up pickleball. I'll tell you what. Because in that same tweet, Alston said, I'll give you 5 to 6 months to train and then we'll do this. Roddick said, I'm not even going to waste my time. I'll tell you what, a better match would be we give you 5 to 6 months to train tennis. Then we play you in pickleball. You play us in tennis. Then we'll see what outcome is best. And then we'll see who's the best.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
That's a more realistic scale. It's how steep is the learning curve to reach the pinnacle of each sport. And we all know the dynamic of what makes pickleball so special is how approachable the game is and how easy it is to take on and train for and play at a higher level. That's why so many people are into it, and that's why it's surging the way it is. There's a reason people aren't playing tennis. It's so frustrating to learn how to play tennis. The learning curve is so steep. The barrier of entry is so tall. You can't just pick up a racket and play a match. You can pick up a paddle and be playing full games of pickleball in an hour.
That is correct.
It's not even close. And I get it. The best pickleball player in the world will wipe the floor with most park players on the planet. Just like the number one tennis player in the world. I mean, we could just say the number one guy on the college team will mop the floor with a park of players. So the scale of the height it requires is just the gap's too big.
Yes, this to me is there's a big gap between Djokovic and a collegiate Division I athlete.
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure. The gap's massive.
A Division I athlete going into pickleball, the gap is a lot closer compared to Ben Johns.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
So Blake, which is another statement you made, he said, Jack Sock, this is just his recreation. And he's already beating top 3 players in singles. It's not even close.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, Jack Sock existing is making this hard for our buddy here to have a leg to stand on. Jack Sock took out the number 4 player a month ago.
Right.
Jack Sock split sets with the number 1 player 3 weeks ago. How? It shouldn't be possible. But it is, and it's happening, and he's getting better. So, it's very interesting for him to make these arguments, but hey, I really like pickleball. I really like tennis. I play both. What I can tell you is the reason I play pickleball is because it's hard for me to find high-level tennis. And it's real easy to find high-level pickleball, so I'm sorry, man. I haven't made my grandiose list of what I think are the toughest sports in a long time, but I would love to try to ballpark a number and rank pickleball in my most demanding and difficult sports in the world. That might be something we should do soon. Oh,
for sure. Now, we'll say this before we close. Obviously, you need certain skills in tennis that would make you a good pickleball player. That is why Sam Querrey and Jeannie Bouchard, who finally won a match, are struggling in pickleball. Yeah. They're baseliners. They can't volley. That's not something that they did.
Yeah.
Jack Sock is a doubles machine.
He's a Grand Slam winner in doubles, yeah.
Yes, so his hands are going to make up for those swinging volleys in pickleball. He can transfer into that game quickly. So that is why Jack Sock is able to compete with the best players in pickleball. So if you're a tennis player that has those types of skills, you're going to be amazing in pickleball within 4 months.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, I think that's pretty much everything. I look forward to ranking pickleball in the universe of sports and seeing what number we come up with.
Oh, that'll be fun. In that case, I hope you guys were entertained.
Pickleball, Around the Post, ATP, tennis. I don't know what we are today, which podcast, but adios.